Yesterday, the Astros evened the series with the Indians thanks to 9 extra base hits and a complete game gem by Dallas Keuchel. Today, Jay Happ gets the nod for the Astros. He goes for another quality start, while veteran right-hander Derek Lowe takes the mound for Cleveland. The Astros face the Indians in the rubber game next on Fox Sports Houston. It's interleague baseball on this Sunday. It's the Houston Astros and the Cleveland Indians from Minute Maid Park. And Sunday baseball on Fox Sports Houston is presented by Hyundai. It's the series finale in the rubber game between the Indians and the Astros today. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies joining you to see who wins this 3-game series. And we've seen a lot of outstanding pitching, JD.
Yeah, and Dallas Keuchel, outstanding yesterday, complete game for the Astros. That was one big story. The other, the extra base hits coming virtually out of nowhere. Kreskin could not have seen this coming. The Astros were dealing with another perfect game situation. 12 up, 12 down, and then just a barrage of extra base hits. They went 5 out of 7 after that 12 up, 12 down with 3 doubles, 2 home runs. Ended up with 9 extra base hits in the ballgame, the most all year long. Unbelievable push by the Astros hitters in the second half of that game.
They continue to bang away. Maybe that has turned them in a different direction. Now the envelope, please, from Kreskin to Johnny Carson. Are the Indians going to grab this one, or will it be the Astros today? We'll read that envelope in just a moment.
Brought to you by the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. The fans moving in. It's the Astros and the Indians. Third and final game of the series. Final interleague game of the year for the Astros. The club is on the field. The announcers, Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies, are in the booth.
Thank you, Greg. And it is the second series on this 3-series homestand. The San Diego Padres come in to start a 4-game set tomorrow night. But first things first, Jay Happ on the mound, warming up to take on the Tribe. And the starting lineup for Maniactus Club is brought to you by Hyundai. It's Shin-Soo Choo leading off in right field. Then it's Asdrubal Cabrera at shortstop, Jason Kipnis at second base, Jose Lopez, the cleanup man, at third base today, with Michael Bradley in center field, Shelley Duncan in left field, Casey Kochman, the first baseman, Lou Marson, the catcher, for Derek Lowe.
Jay Happ making his first ever start against the Cleveland Indians for the year. He's 5-7 with a 5.15 ERA. He's made 14 starts. He's got very good strikeout numbers. And last time out, he had a nice bounce back start, pitched solidly against Kansas City, picked up that 5th win. Defensively, Martinez, Schaefer, Bogasevic cover the outfield. Third to first, it's Johnson, Lowry, Altuve, and Lee. And Jason Castro is behind the dish. And the green grass grows all around, all around.
It was family day. Astros players had their families on the field before the game today. Shin-Soo Choo takes over as the game gets underway. And he looks at strike one from Jay Happ. Jordan Baker's the home plate umpire. He rings it up on a .276 hitter with 6 homers, 24 runs batted in, 27 hits this month for Choo. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for the Korean-born outfielder. And in 36 starts since he became the leadoff man, Choo has hit .303. Foul back. He took a look at the umpiring crew for Game 3 of this series. The Astros at home are 20-17. The Indians on the road are 17-15. It's a good matchup of a club playing about the same at home as on the road in Cleveland, and a team much better at home than on the road in Houston. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Indians will move on to New York. They'll play the Yankees next, and then Baltimore. That's a tough schedule in the next few days. They have a half-game lead in the AL Central over the White Sox. Little chopper, Happ goes over, makes a good play. Taking care of out number 1. If that gets by him, it's a hit.
You got in Choo's Kitchen. Sounds like a Chinese restaurant here in town. Huh?
It really does.
In Choo's Kitchen.
Yeah. Asdrubal Cabrera comes up next. And as you've been saying, JD, the Tribe has really been challenged by left-handed pitching. Cabrera, switch hitter, hitting .300 overall, 9 homers, 33 runs batted in. Good on base average. One of the top players at his position in the American League. 6th in on base average, in fact, in the league. And there's ball 1 to him.
And Indians came into this series hitting .218 against left-handed pitching, tied for dead last in all of baseball. And it didn't get a whole lot better yesterday off Dallas Keuchel.
No, it did not. He was very masterful. 2 balls, no strikes. Pitched a complete Game 6 hitter. And so now it's back-to-back lefties for the Tribe. Keuchel did something that's rarely been done in the annals of Houston history. Complete game in his 2nd major league start. Now the Astros starter's ERA 1.98 in their last 6 starts. Cabrera has worked the count to 3-0 his way. He has 2 hits, including a homer yesterday in this series.
Keuchel's achievement more notable in that it comes in this era when you hardly ever see the complete game anymore.
Absolutely. 3 balls and a strike. What a day that was. He became the first Astro pitcher to begin his career with 5 or more innings and 1 or fewer runs in his first 2 starts since Carlos Hernandez in '01. Carlos Lee takes a look at this one, drifting back toward the seats, and that's out of play. It's 3-2 to Cabrera. They scramble for it. And Carlos Hernandez, such a promising young lefty from Venezuela. Came up and did so well in '01, but then he got hurt diving back into second base, hurt his shoulder, and that really took his career on a downward path. Kipnis on deck. Swing and a miss. Cabrera's down on out number 2.
And the old letter high changeup. It's all right if you get away. That's in golf parlance, that's a good miss right there. You hit a little fat, but something good happened for you. That was a good miss for Jay Happ. Left the changeup way up, but got away with it.
Kipnis, with a very good season underway, is in the top 10 in runs scored in the American League. Solid numbers for Jason. He takes strike 1. Kipnis 3 for 7 in this series. He had all 3 of those hits yesterday. Up to 280 with 11 homers. He's driven in 41. It's 1-1 to Kipnis, who became the first Indian second baseman to homer in 4 consecutive games this year. And then he had a 5-hit 4-run game. First rookie to do that since 1952 for the Tribe. It's 2-1 to Kipnis. Northbrook, Illinois. That one goes to center field. Jordan Schaefer. It's a 1-2-3 first for Jay Happ. Now the Astros. And Brad Mills has front-loaded things again today as yesterday. Altuve, Lowry, and Lee coming up. Brad Mills lineup brought to you by Hyundai. Hyundai shows you Jose Altuve at second base, Jed Lowry at shortstop, Carlos Lee at first, Brian Bogusevic in right field, Chris Johnson at third, Jason Castro catcher, J.D. Martinez left field, Jordan Schaefer center field, Jay Happ pitcher.
39-year-old sinker baller Derek Lowe for the Tribe this afternoon. He's 7-5 with a 4.30 ERA. Strikeout rate way down. He's always been an extreme ground ball pitcher. He is again this year. He's just not striking anybody out. 30 punch outs in 83 innings. He's issued just 27 walks.
Altuve takes his first pitch. It's strike one for Lowe on a 311 hitter with 5 homers, 23 runs batted in, 88 hits, ranking 5th in the National League, 6th in the majors for Altuve. He leads the Astros in extra base hits. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Altuve 5 for 21, 238 on this homestand. Lowry on deck. Third baseman Lopez in tight. That one goes foul, and it's 1-2.
He's going to throw a whole bunch of sinkers. He'll also cut his fastball, mix in the occasional slider and changeup. 12 starts against the Astros. He's 5-4 with a 3.58.
That one got away. Lowe was drafted by Seattle in '91 in the 8th round. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Moved along to Boston in the big trade along with Jason Varitek for Heathcliff Slocum. Tremendous deal for the Red Sox. Then he was a Dodger and a Brave. Rolled out to shortstop. Cabrera has it. 1 out.
It should be a busy day for the Cleveland infielders. We'll take a look at them defensively. The outfield features Duncan, Brantley, and Chu. Infield of Lopez, Cabrera, Kipnis, and Kochman. Lou Marson gets to start behind the plate today. He has not been particularly effective in throwing out base stealers.
Jed Lowry's the batter. Lowry 1 for 6 in this series. 13 homers, 31 runs batted in, and 845 OPS for Jed.
Jed pretty adept at getting that low ball in the air. This could be a good matchup for him. This is the first time he's ever faced the veteran Lowe. Aptly named with those sinkers.
Yes. Lowry was able to. Nope, he wasn't able to check his swing. Sorry about that. It's Manny Gonzalez's call. His call was strike one.
We could help out, though. We could get a little light up here, and we could just. Green, yes, he went. Red, no, he didn't. If they needed some help.
It's 2 balls and a strike. Guy with a good sinker will produce some tentative swings like that, though, sometimes, JD.
Yeah, it's just, it looks good on its approach, and then he throws a true sinker. There are a lot of guys that throw two-seam fastballs. They call them sinkers, and they're not. They have a little tail and maybe a little fade to them, but he'll throw a ball that's pretty true on its way to home plate and then just kind of disappear on you.
Lowe's won 173 games in his major league career. He's pitched in an awful lot of important games, but last year he was 9-17 for Atlanta. Rolled out to second. Kipnis without number 2.
Two-time All-Star is Derek Lowe. He got off to a great start this year, coming off that rough season with Atlanta. He was 4-1 in April with a 2.27 ERA, then 2-2 in May with a 4.30. And June has not been kind to him at all. He's 1-2 with an ERA above 7. He's allowed 7 runs in each of 2 of his last 3 starts. 7 earnings charged to him.
Carlos Lee, 299, 4 homers, 27 runs batted in. Is 5 for 18 on this homestand. He looks at ball 1. He has excellent numbers, as you might have noticed a few minutes ago, against Lowe. Lowe in June 1-2 with a 7.15.
It's been a June swoon for Derek Lowe.
They used to say that about Cleveland Indian teams for years, back in the 60s, I believe it was. They're in a June swoon. It was almost an annual occurrence for their teams at that time. 2 balls, no strikes. They go along playing well in April and May.
People come in Cleveland, they were too cold to play against the Tribe.
That
would take advantage of the mistake by the lake.
That old Municipal Stadium was tough. It was right by the lake and cold.
Second major league start in that ballpark back in 1984.
Yeah.
And there was like 7,000 people in the stands. The grounds crew was like this doing the anthem, and the grounds crews out spraying the field. There's hoses laying all over it. Just a decrepit old place nobody wanted to go to.
Kipnis takes care of out number 3. Both pitchers enjoying a 1-2-3 first, and we'll be back for the second right after this.
Night Out package presented by Kielbasa and Budweiser is available every Thursday home game, including this Thursday against the Padres. Purchase a loaded ticket that includes a field box 2-seat, an Astros cap, sausage dog, and value draft beer or soda for just $30. Root now and buy tickets at astros.com/guys night. Bill.
Thank you, Patty. 0-0. We go to inning number 2 for Jay Happ. Jose Lopez in the box, taking strike 1. Well, of course, there was the usual line of questioning for the manager, Brad Mills, today about his rotation after the Dallas Keuchel complete game. Bud Norris won last night for Oklahoma City. He went 5 innings and felt good, threw about 75 pitches. So he is in line to come back into the rotation the next turn through.
How do you tell Dallas Keuchel he's got to go back to AAA?
Exactly. That was the question.
I want to have that conversation. I'd go to a 6-man rotation if I were Millsy, or I don't know. Maybe Dallas could serve as a long man for you.
Well, Millsy said we don't have to make that decision today, and we're going to hold off a little while.
Yeah.
Think about it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So that's what Dallas Keuchel has done in his 2 major league starts. He's forced them to think about it.
Well, last time through the rotation, everybody that took the ball pitched well. So, you know, kind of like the work they've gotten from Jordan Lyles. Jay Happ coming off a good start. Harrell outstanding last time out.
It's been a very good scene there the last 6 games. Everybody solid. The 1.98 for the Astros starters the last 6. Foul back, and it's still 2-2.
Check out those numbers. Unfortunately, the Astros have only won 2 of those ball games.
Yeah.
Very impressive work.
Foul ball keeps the count at 2-2 for Jose Lopez. Jay Happ is facing the Indians for the first time in his career.
Lopez, a guy who's been around for a while, had some pretty productive years in Seattle, including 25 home runs back in 2009. Not a patient hitter, hardly ever walks.
Hits this one to left center field, and that one will fly past Schaefer and Martinez, bang off the bullpen wall. It'll be a double for Lopez.
Lopez just reached out and got a fastball out or third. Really put a nice swing on it for a leadoff double. A lot of left-handed bats for this Cleveland team, even against left-handed starters. They've got 4 lefties in there this afternoon.
Michael Bradley at 283 with a homer, has 33 runs batted in. Chris Johnson's closing in on him. Carlos Lee even with a bag at first. Bradley looks at strike 1. Since May 20th, he's hit .321. It's quite a crowd for the concert after the game yesterday. Probably 8,000 or 10,000 people. The biggest we've seen for one of those Faith and Family concerts. Roller will get the runner to third, and Carlos Lee on a cracked bat takes care of out number 1. Brantley's bat is shattered, but he advances the runner.
His bat is shattered, but his dreams are not. Because he's going to get high fives for moving that run over to third base.
Yes, he is.
This will come from his manager, Manny Acta.
Shelley Duncan, with the infield moving in closer, will get this runner at third, 1 out opportunity. Give the Tribe a lead. With a 194 average for 48 games, 129 at bats. Son of Dave Duncan, former longtime major league pitching coach. He tried to check and did on appeal to the first base umpire, Jerry Davis. Middle infielder's about halfway in. Well, they all are, in fact. Foul ball takes it to a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, you can afford to gamble here in this situation, pull your infielders in, and you lose a little bit of range, but Indians are down towards the bottom of their batting order, so if Duncan were to get a base hit through that drawn-in infield, you still feel pretty good about your chances of preventing a big inning. 3, 4, 5 are due up next. Millsy would probably keep his infield back.
In the dirt, this gets by, and the Indians score. 1-0.
Infield in, infield back, rendered to moot with that wild pitch, breaking ball in the dirt. It's been a problem for Jason this year, though. He's not been able to block a lot of balls that he'll tell you he should have. This gets through that 5-hole, and a cheap run comes home for the Indians.
1-0 on the wild pitch. Two balls and a strike for Jay Happ now, working to Duncan.
Almost needs to be a third statistic to evaluate catchers. You know, there's wild pitches and there's passed balls, but there also should be one, balls not blocked.
Duncan came up through the Yankee organization.
Yeah, he's always had some power. Struggles defensively in the outfield. He's a good fit today with Lowe on the mound with all the ground balls that Lowe gets, plus with his short left field wall here at Minute Maid Park.
He's been sharing some time in left field with Johnny Damon earlier this season. Duncan got more playing time, then Damon started playing in early May after he was signed as a free agent. He takes a walk.
Happ went back to the 3-2 change up there. He struck Cabrera out with it in the first inning. He got a swing and miss. Had a bad changeup here. He just has this one float up and away on him. So time to make an adjustment to get that changeup down a little bit.
Casey Kochman has hit safely in 10 of his last 14 games. Checks in at .225 for this one. 6 homers. He's driven in 27. And there's ball one. Left-handed hitters are hitting actually a few points higher against Happ than right-handed batters. 5 points better. .291 for left-handed hitters against Jay. That's a strike, and that makes it 1-1 with Lou Marson on deck. The Indians 4 games over .500. There's the breakdown on Kochman. 179 against lefties. They've been outscored by 36 runs this season coming into this game. Foul ball makes it 1-2. They're in the middle of the pack in runs scored, and when they pitch well, they really do well. Most teams can say that. They're still in the lead by a half game over the White Sox.
Tightly bunched grouping there in the AL Central. That's been the case all year long. The Indians, furthest they've been out all year is 3 games out of first place. The biggest lead they've had is 4. A lot of that due to the fact that the Tigers have really underachieved for most of the season. People expected them to run away and hide with this division. Tigers still 3 games below .500.
It's a shot into left field. Single for Kochman. Getting Duncan to second base, and it'll bring up Marson.
Well, good job here by Kochman, going the other way, staying in there against a left-hander. A little extra room there on the left side with the Astros pinching towards the bag, playing for a double play.
.242 for Marson. He's driven in 4. He had an 8-game hitting streak back in late May, early June. Prior to that, he was hitting 100. There's ball one. He's the backup catcher to Santana, who played the first 2 games of this series. Marson, in his last 12 games, has hit .371. Happ delivers a strike to him.
Marson, like Happ, a product of the Philly organization, so they must have been teammates somewhere along the way.
Marson drafted in 04. He was a 4th round pick. Cleveland got him in 09 in a trade. That was the Cliff Lee Ben Francisco deal. To center field. Schaefer backing with the catch. Here's the runner at second, tagging Duncan. He looked funny trying to get off second and get to third. Arms akimbo. He was really digging, trying to get moving, and he got over on out number 2.
And deep enough for Duncan to scramble back and hustle on over.
He was laboring. First and third, 2 outs now for Derek Lowe, the pitcher. 147 is his average, including a homer, 25 runs batted in. Lowe is from Dearborn, Michigan. That's ball 1 to him. Lowe's 1 for 2 this season.
He's named after Derek Sanderson, the hockey player.
Oh, okay. He's a colorful character for the Bruins. Speaking of Boston clubs, the Kevin Youkilis sweepstakes gets more and more interesting. Foul back.
Got Milo.
That was close.
They're taking aim at Milo this year.
Brett Dolan is ball hawking, leaning out of the booth, trying to snag what he can snag. Lowell Matheny's on the phone calling for help.
There's not a whole lot to shoot for there with Milo. He's kind of low in the saddle.
Yeah, he's protected.
He's got his star there to help protect him.
One hopper goes to Chris Johnson, and it's out number 3. And the Indians settle for 1 run, 2 hits. They leave 2, and they grab a 1-0 lead. Forward to Miller time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. The Indians grabbed a 1-0 lead, a double by Lopez. He advanced to third on a ground out and then scored on a wild pitch. And Derek Lowe takes the mound, leading by that 1-0 score with Bogusevic, Johnson, and Castro due up in the Houston second. Really good crowd here yesterday, about 35,000. Watched the Astros win at 8-1. The Tribe won at 2-0 Friday night behind Ubaldo Jimenez and 3 relievers. Each club got 4 hits in that game. Bogusevic at 231 with 5 homers has driven in 18 and hitting cleanup again today for the second straight day. Yesterday he became the first Astro to reach base after Genmar Gomez retired the first 12. Bogusevic stepped up in the 5th inning and doubled, and that triggered a 4-run 5th. Strike 1 to Bogey. Left-handed hitters are hitting .333 against Lowe. That's clocked at the first baseman. He blocks it, and Kochman gets to first. He couldn't get out of the way of that if he tried. That ball was really hammered right at him.
Yeah, good swing by Bogusevic. Kochman, a very good defender down there at first base. That was a good look at him as he readied, as the pitch was being delivered, glove on the ground, crouched down, ready to react.
Yes.
And he's got very good hands.
Good midsection, too.
Yeah. Whatever it takes. Good courage.
Oh,
good courage on that one.
That's the operative phrase there on a ball like that. Chris Johnson takes ball one. 277, Chris.
It's nice when you have a rangy first baseman, too. Now, the Tribe has him way off the line now.
Yeah. It's almost Mark Grace-like in that ability to range. Here's that play.
Into the midsection. He knows he has plenty of time because he's just a few paces away from the bag. And now you see him there tightening up the leather, but look how far off the base he plays.
Long way from first.
Takes away that hole, allows Kipnis to shade over toward the bag and still not give up the hole on the right side.
2 balls, 1 strike. CJ's had a big series, 4 for 8 with 2 runs batted in. 3 balls and a strike to him. He's hitting .305 at home with all 5 of his homers here. Had 2 doubles and both drove in runs yesterday, 2 singles Friday night. It's 3-2. Brad Mills had a conversation with Chris during the Friday night game. Ubaldo Jimenez was pounding him inside, and CJ trying to get that runner to second base, but that's hard to do, and a right-handed pitcher keeps coming down and in on you. And he said, just advance him any way you can. So he tried a bunt at one point in this series. I think that was yesterday, and wound up hitting a double.
Yeah, he bunted it foul, and that was probably the best thing that could have happened because then he hit a double. And the barrage was on.
And Brad Mills said, well, that's fine. Just recognize what the pitcher's doing. Go ahead and turn on it and rip away. Bouncer up the middle, slowly hit as Drupal Cabrera. And the stretch by Kochman. 2 outs.
A real sense of urgency by Cabrera. Johnson not a speedy guy, and Cabrera knew he had time. Floats on over there and then puts a little something extra on the throw.
2 outs, and that's 5 straight retired by Lowe.
Well, there you go. He's up to his old tricks. He's got great action on that sinker here this afternoon.
He leads the majors in groundouts. And here's Jason Castro, 239, 1 homer, 15 runs batted in. Batting 6th again for the 2nd straight day. This one rolls out to Cabrera as well. And everything on the ground. 6 in a row for Lowe. He leads it 1-0.
center making cancer history. It was on this date, 1994, that man, Jeff Bagwell, homered 3 times, twice in the 6th inning, driving in 6 and a 16-4 drubbing of the Dodgers. That, of course, was Jeff's greatest season in only 110 games, shortened by a strike, which was going to be shortened anyway by a broken hand. But he led the league in 6 hitting categories, including RBIs, runs, total bases, 368 average, 39 homers, and that was in just 479 plate appearances, 400 official at-bats. What a year it was for Jeff, and what a game on this date in 1994, brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center. Guys.
Thanks, Greg. Cotton Candy Day here, and Santa Claus. There are a lot of Santa Clauses here in the crowd today. It's 1-0 Indians. There is strike one to Shin-Soo Choo, who grounded back to Jay Happ earlier. There they are, the Lone Star Santas. Yeah, quite a group. They're making a charity fundraising appearance here today.
I wonder if they recruit or people are just drawn to them. Hey, I look like those guys.
Could be both.
Or they have scouts that go out and look for potential Santas.
Yeah, they have scouts. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Have people out there scouting all the time.
Yeah.
For guys who fill that role.
It's a 3-tool Santa. He's got the belly, the beard, and the personality. Make him a first-round pick.
Well, we talked about the Kevin Youkilis sweepstakes. The Indians are mentioned as one team possibly interested in acquiring Kevin Youkilis from Boston. And that seems to be heating up. There are the Lone Star Santas all in that one section.
Santas and Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. They're all there together.
I don't know if there's ever any jealousy. They ever get in any spats about who is the most Santa-ish.
Well, that would probably be a natural outcropping of their rivalry as Santas. Yeah. The guy on the left is asleep, isn't he? No, he's just leaning. He wants to see this next pitch.
Do you guys want me to go out there and ask these questions for you?
We would love to have the answers.
Those are compelling questions.
All right, I'll work my way out there. So we want to know about jealousy, looks. What were the other pressing ones?
Do they get recruited?
Recruitment.
They have scouts.
All right. Contests. All right, I'm heading out there now. Stand by.
They have auditions. How does that work? Struck him out. Patty always on it. And strikeout number 2 for Jay Happ.
Choo's been inclined to go the other way in this series. This time, no. Pulls off a little bit, is fooled by the breaking ball.
Greg Lucas had a conversation with him before the game today. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera now. He homered yesterday. Foul back there, strike one. Cabrera struck out on a 3-2 high changeup in the first inning. Greg's wife is from Korea, so he wanted to know a little bit more from Choo about other Korean players in the pipeline. He said, well, in high school, we have some good players coming up.
I will say this, his English is spotless. I mean, here's a guy that's put a lot of dedication into coming over here to be a successful ball player, not leaving that little factor out.
Good player. Throws well. He's fun to watch. You know, just thinking on the way in today, JD, because the Indians bus pulled in and they were all making the walk down through the tunnel toward their clubhouse. Well, they'll be coming here every year from now on.
Yeah.
Things are going to be changing quite a bit next season as far as the teams coming into this ballpark. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, there's been a few. We've heard some Indian fans here in this series making some noise.
We have. You're right.
Opportunity from people in town that have, from their past, have followed some of these American League clubs. Will get a chance to come out and watch them play.
Sure. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes, and then of course the Yankees, Boston, that powerful AL East. All those clubs will be coming here next year. Everybody in the American League. Sign, very elaborate sign that she was holding. And that's ball 4. a walk for Cabrera. That's number 2 for J. Happ. And it's Kipnis coming in. This is the final interleague game of the year for the Astros. They're 5-9 in interleague play. The Indians are 8-9. Kipnis hit the fly ball to center field in the first inning. Now, Youkilis and Bobby Valentine had that spat earlier this season. And so the stories are they're not really getting along.
Well, it's interesting because Youkilis, apparently Bobby told the press that he had talked to Youkilis about his playing time or not being in the lineup in recent days, and then Youkilis yesterday said, well, that's not true. There's been no conversation. But, if they are trying to trade him, it really puts Valentine in a tough spot because you don't want to go to the player and go, well, here's the reason why you're not playing is because we're trying to work a deal for you.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you're better off not talking to him.
Yeah, he's really in a bind there if that's the case.
But Will Middlebrooks has just taken over at third. And he's taking over at that position while Youkilis is sitting on the bench. But Youkilis is 33. He's been injured this year, and he's owed $7 million. And supposedly the Red Sox, if they have to pay his salary, want a top prospect in return in any trade. So what teams match up with them? Well, the Dodgers would be conceivably looking for a third baseman. The Indians, the White Sox, maybe Pittsburgh, although they have Pedro Alvarez at third. Rolled out to second. There's the flip. Lowry, the middleman. Double play. Started by Altuve. 4-6-3 to win the Indians' third, and it's 1-0 Cleveland.
Jimmy Wynn. They'll be at the Whataburger at Spencer Highway and East Boulevard. They'll be signing autographs on Wednesday from 11 to noon. While you're there, register to win the ultimate Whata fan experience, which includes memorabilia, sweet tickets, and a chance to throw out a first pitch. Boy, a couple of quality guys there for the fans to mingle with.
Absolutely. Fan favorites. 1-0. Derek Lowe has the lead. He delivers strike one to J.D. Martinez, who hit his 8th home run of the year yesterday. He's driven in 39, and he has a .230 batting average. And Brad Mills had a chat with him about his swing, about being ready. It's 1-1. And Brad was looking at some video and wanted to put up this year's video of J.D. swinging with last year's video side by side. So they watched that for a while and talked about timing mechanisms. And he said with some players it's getting the foot down, but with J.D. it's the hands, getting the hands ready and in a position to hit. And he said he could see that right away. And he was eating breakfast at my desk as we watched the video, and he really put it into practice yesterday. That one rolls foul. 1-2.
I think maybe the Astro hitters overall here today are going to have to make an adjustment to Lowe because they just keep beating the ball into the ground. I don't know if it means moving up in the batter's box, trying to get out in front of that sinker a little bit. Players generally are hesitant to do that. They get so comfortable at a certain part of the box, and they don't want to move up and then risk being jammed.
True.
But there comes a time when it might make sense.
Now might be a good time. He has 6 straight ground ball outs. 1 and 2, but you know JD hasn't faced him yet this game. Usually a guy he wants to see him at least once before doing anything different.
Yeah, and I think so many players just don't ever want to do anything different.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Lowe can get. A lot of foul balls from right-handed batters with the pitch in that location.
Outfielders could just shut it down. They could go out there, they could play a little game of spades or something.
Eddie Feigner on the mound.
There we go. Big one in the air.
A fly ball, and it's hit to center field, and Bradley's backing on it to the warning track.
All right. Step in the right direction.
Yes, it is. Patty has made the climb. Let's get Patty is going to scoop Mark Berman right now. Patty, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. You got to get through all the cotton candy. What would you expect with all this sweet stuff here surrounding Santa? But
cocoa.
Yeah, how about that? I am up here with all the Santas. They've got a great view up here. But Santa Doug here says it so they can keep an eye on everybody to see who's naughty or nice. But you guys are with the Lone Star Santas. Tell us a little bit about your group.
Lone Star Santas is a group statewide of Santa Clauses, Mrs. Clauses, elves, and reindeer herders, by the way, who spread love, hope, and joy to children and families from disasters here that have struck in Texas and then also in Missouri, in Joplin, Missouri. We responded to Joplin, Missouri with over 3,500 toys to the children and families in Joplin. We responded to Lancaster, Texas after those tornadoes, to Forney, Texas, to Bastrop and Magnolia after the wildfires last fall. We really enjoy doing something in the off season. So this is something that we felt that we could do that brings a lot of love, hope, and joy to the children and families of disasters. And the Astros were very generous in inviting us to the ball game today to spread our message.
Well, it's just awesome. We love your story. We love the fact that you're here. But we've got to get down to the brass tacks here. These guys want to know some questions. Bill Brown and Jim Deshays do. Where your recruitment process? Do you just have to look like Santa? How do you get your guys?
Well, most people who have a white beard generally kind of gravitate to being Santa Claus. It's not easy to be Santa Claus, though. You have to go ahead and have a great ho ho ho, and you also need to be able to interact with children quite a bit. We're not limited to real bearded Santas. We have Santas that actually are designer bearded Santas. And those are the guys who have a great artificial beard, generally made out of yak hair. So that's kind of a fun thing.
And just real quick before I let you go, before this happens here, any competition, do you guys get a little jealous? One Santa looks a little more Santa-like, or is it all just happy, happy, joy, joy?
It's happy, happy, joy, joy. The real Santa Claus is here, and it's the kid's job to pick out which one he is.
Ah, my job just got a little tougher. I may be hanging up here for a while, so check back in with me, guys.
Thanks, Patty, for getting the real story behind the Santas. Well, that's 9 up, 9 down for Derek Lowe. That's his first strikeout. He leads 1-0. Wild pitch. AT&T has some trivia for us. Is it about Lone Star Santas? No. Who is the all-time leader in interleague home runs?
How long has this been going on?
Well, 97. Jim Thome, maybe.
Pujols?
Pujols could be a very good guess. Not sure about that. Lopez led off the second inning with a double to left center, took third on a ground ball, scored on a wild pitch. He leads off again here in the fourth. In the air to left center field. Schaefer moving over.
I think when we were in Chicago, I think there was some stuff about Konerko being
very
good interleague numbers.
Konerko would be a good guess. Let's see.
Oh,
Jim Thome.
Big Jim Thome hit a walk-off home run yesterday as the Phillies beat Tampa Bay after Jonathan Papelbon coughed up the lead.
Did you see the story behind Jonathan Papelbon?
I did not.
Well, he came into the clubhouse after coughing up the lead with a blown save and said, "I'll give $5,000 for a walk-off hit."
Wow.
Brantley takes ball one. So he very happily parted with $5,000 for Thome. Thome is the all-time leader in walk-off hits, apparently, with 13. As far as we know.
Being desperate for money, Thome decided he better go deep.
1 ball, 1 strike, and 609 home runs now. He tied, I believe it was Sammy Sosa on the all-time list.
Side note, in that game, Jeff Keppinger was 5 for 5.
Yeah. Did you see the catch Justin Ruggiano made?
I did not.
Oh, just a spectacular catch, going back in center field, leaving his feet. Terrific catch last night. 2 balls and a strike to Brantley. Bouncer Happ. And that's out number 2. Happ got very good results, as JD mentioned last time out. And at home, he's 5-4 with a 4.08 ERA.
Induces the ground ball and good quick hands to snag it.
It's Shelley Duncan. He drew a walk in the second inning. Shelley takes, and there's strike 1. He's from Tucson and went to the University of Arizona, where he became the all-time home run leader. Second round pick of the Yankees in 01. Had 11 homers for the Tribe and 223 at-bats last year. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count. .65 pitches for Jay. San Diego Padres will be here tomorrow night. They've placed one of their starting pitchers on the disabled list, Anthony Bass, today, and reinstated infielder outfielder Andy Perino from the DL. Foul back.
Wandy Rodriguez versus Ross Ollendorf in tomorrow's game. Jordan Lyles on Tuesday against TBA, and then Harold and Clayton Richard on Wednesday. Thursday it's TBA versus TBA. So TBA is going to come back on short rest for San Diego. He's only going to have 1 day off. Their TBA is really durable.
Yeah. Speaking of durable, Zach Levine of the Houston Chronicle had a pretty good question today. Hey, if the New York Mets continue to play as well as they are right now, and they stay in the race in the NL East, do you think they would send a knuckleballer, R.A. Dickey, out there more often than every 5th day down the stretch?
Yeah, I would.
Struck him out looking. That's number 3 for Happ, and it's 1-0 Indians.
Sports Houston is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club Combo. By the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway miles per gallon. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Now the Astros are down by a run, but we haven't played the first 4 innings yet, so fans don't worry. The explosion started in the 5th last night.
Well, this is the 3rd time in the last 5 games the Astros have gone 3 innings without a hit. First 3 innings without a hit. Altuve taking strike 1. He led off for the Astros with a grounder to shortstop in the 1st inning. That was 6 groundouts in a row for Lowe to open. He has 7 in the first 9 batters so far. 1 ball, 1 strike for Derek Lowe, who pitched in the World Series for Boston in 2004. He pitched really well and won a game without giving up an earned run. 2 balls and a strike. He pitched a no-hitter in 2002 for Boston against Tampa Bay. He was an all-star that year with a 21-8 record, a 2.58 ERA. A little chop goes towards shortstop. Cabrera, quick throw and accurate. That's 10 straight retired by Lowe.
Back onto the ground he goes. Who's hot, who's not around Major League Baseball? Well, R.A. Dickey goes tonight for the Mets. He's been unbelievably good. Braun with a 17-game hit streak. Tommy with that home run we were talking about. A.J. Burnett, a big reason why the Pirates are hovering around first place. And Cliff Lee, despite pitching pretty darn well, still winless.
That's hard to believe. Now, Altuve is limping off. We did not see this happen, but head athletic trainer Nate Lucero coming off with him. On the right leg. Didn't want to put any weight on that right leg. Jed Lowry's the batter.
Looks like he'll be heading up to the clubhouse. And we'll let you know as soon as we hear something what's going on with Altuve.
Lowry looks at ball 1. He grounded out earlier. Maybe that last step onto the bag with the right leg. Hard to say.
I didn't see anything roll over or anything like that would lead you to believe an ankle. I'm guessing more muscle, like a hammy or something like that.
Right. Hammy or calf or something like that. And just by his reaction, looked like right when he stepped on first is when he felt it. 2 balls, 1 strike to Lowry. Lowry's a 151 career hitter against the Tribe. Justin Maxwell may not be available for this game. He had a procedure, and last night after the game, whatever it was, Brad Mills was not very definite about what the procedure was. Cabrera quickly got in front of it. And that now is 11 straight for Lowe. He's into a nice rhythm. It'll be Carlos Lee next.
Infielders have to love playing behind Derek Lowe. A lot of fun to get a lot of action.
Yeah. Lowe is 1-1 at Minute Maid Park with a 4.91 ERA.
20 wins one season, 40 plus saves another, and a John Smoltz like.
Ball 1 to Lee.
In fact, Lowe, Smoltz, and Eckersley, the only 3 major league pitchers to win 160 games or more and record 80 or more saves.
2 balls, no strikes.
Not even the great Rube Waddell did that.
Really? He did a lot of great things.
Pud Galvin didn't even do that.
Line shot left field. Carlos gets that one out into left and becomes the first Houston base runner with 2 outs here in the 4th.
It was 12 up, 12 down to start yesterday, but Brownie mentioned last time Carlos was up that he had very good numbers against Derek Lowe. This time there isn't that much sink on that fastball. A little riding action in on him. The tail and first base hit. So if you had 3 in the break up the no hit pool, you're a winner.
Did you have 3?
No, I have 1 and 7.
Okay. Ryan Bogusevic grounded out in the second inning. That's strike one. Indians are 8-6 in Lowe's 14 starts. He opened the year as their number 3 starter, acquired in a Halloween trade from Atlanta. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, his numbers were scary for Atlanta last year, 9-17 with a 5.05 ERA.
Yeah, pitching in a pretty good pitcher's park too there in Atlanta.
That ended a string of him. He had 9 straight years in double figures in wins, but with the 9 last year, that ended. 2 balls and a strike. This is his 5th career start at Minute Maid. It's 2-2. Lowe is looking for his first interleague win of the year.
Runner back to the corner.
He's had 190 ground balls coming into this game today. That one goes foul. Only Trevor Cahill of Arizona has a better ground ball to fly ball ratio than Lowe. Lowe has a 2.79 ground ball to fly ball ratio.
Well, he's been remarkably durable too. 10 consecutive years of 30+ starts.
Smash off the glove of Kipnis on through in the right field. That ball was whacked. Bogusevic. Kipnis got something on it, maybe his wrist, maybe his glove, but Bogusevic steamed it on through the right side.
Bogusevic's hit the ball right on the button twice today. First time it was right at Kochman, so he was put out by the first sacker. This time he hits a rocket, almost robbed by the second baseman Kipnis. That's got to be a knock.
Yeah. Very little reaction time. It is a knock for Bogey. Now a 2-out rally gets Chris Johnson to the plate. He grounded to shortstop in the second inning. Taking strike one there. So Justin Maxwell with that bone chip problem in his left ankle. Gonna let that quiet down for a while, and I'll check him and see how it went. No balls, 2 strikes. Lowe beat the Astros back in 07 in LA and had 4 double play balls in 7 innings. Marson with a block. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Last year, Lowe got a no decision against the Astros in Atlanta in May. Pitched really well, gave up 1 run in 7 innings. Castro on deck. Breaking pitch missing. Takes the count to 2-2 on Chris Johnson. The Astros 2-3 on this homestand. Rubber game of this series today. Outside for ball 3.
Yeah. It was a much harder time when he tries to throw that fastball to the outside corner to a right-handed hitter. The natural movement on his pitch is down or into right-handed hitters when he tries to throw one to the glove side against a right-handed hitter. It's a lot tougher for him to command.
Lee at second, Bogusevic at first, ready to run on this next one. Out to center field and in for a hit. Lee's coming to the plate. The throw goes in towards second, and it's an RBI single to tie the game. Chris Johnson gets his 30th run batted in.
Yesterday's ball game, after being a no-hit for 4 innings, it was a barrage of extra base hits here. Single, 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 following 11 consecutive retired by Lowe. This ball not hit all that well off the end of the bat. A soft little fly ball into shallow center. Brantley determining that he could not make a play on it, backed off and handled the big hop. Carlos with 2 outs, moving with the swing, able to score the tying run.
Now it's a 1-1 game. 3 straight hits for the Astros bring up Castro with runners at first and third. Castro grounded at shortstop, hit the ball sharply to Cabrera earlier. Inside, ball 1. J.D. Martinez is on deck.
Situation there where you're actually lucky that there were 2 outs. Because if there's just 1 out, Carlos would have to wait to see if that ball was going to be caught or not.
True. Rolled over on it and he fouled it. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Yesterday the Astros set a new high for this season for extra base hits in a game with 9. In fact, it was the most extra base hits they had in a game since June 26th of last year against Tampa Bay. Dallas Keuchel tossing a souvenir up to that fan. Chopped to second. Kipnis on over. And it's 1 run. 3 hits. 2 men left. After 4, it's 1-1.
Build Mazda's What Do You Drive? And the Indians leave town today. That marks the end of interleague play for the Astros this year. San Diego Padres coming in next for a 4-game series. First game will be pitched by Wandy Rodriguez. Wandy took the loss in the Astros 2-0 defeat Tuesday to the Royals here at Minute Maid. But it was a quality start for him. He went 7 innings, gave up just 2 runs on 6 hits, and struck out 3. He's 6-5 with a 3.29 ERA on the season. Wandy will go at it tomorrow against Ross Ollendorf. That's your Mazda game break. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Bart. Brian Bixler takes over at second base for the injured Jose Altuve. Casey Kochman batting. And there's strike 1 to open the 5th inning. Kochman singled through the left side in the 2nd. So we'll give you the report on Altuve whenever it becomes available to us. Kochman works the count to 1-1 with Marson and Lowe to follow. Schaefer's over in right center. Check swing call, and that's a strike. Manny Gonzalez with the call to indicate it's now 1-2 on Kochman.
Really drifting out on that front foot.
Sure was. It's Boston 4, Atlanta 3. They're in the bottom of the 5th at Fenway. Bounce foul.
Kochman has a lot of energy in his game. And here again, the injury to Altuve as he's streaking down the line to try to beat out an infield hit, and just as he hits the bag, you see the grimace.
That's chopped foul. Still 1-2.
Guessing some kind of muscle strain, but we'll wait. We'll let you know. There'll be an announcement coming at some point, I'm guessing.
Well, Kochman really gets those legs going when he hits. Starts with that open stance. Got a big stride into it. Punches this one up the middle. That's backhanded. Bixler just in the game. What a difficult play. Safe at first. It's uncanny how often that happens. The guy comes off the bench and he gets a tough play.
Yep. They always seem to find you. He makes a nice play, and it's a close play. The Kochman apparently just ahead of that throw from Bixler. Back across his body, one hop, takes a little steam out of it. Bang, bang. Could have gone either way.
A hit for Kochman. He's 2 for 2. Bixler blowing a bubble as he got ready to make that throw. Marson's the batter. Marson hit a fly ball to center with runners at first and third. And one out. That's ball 1 to him.
Ball 1 right there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Uh-oh.
Right over the heart of the plate. At the knees.
Marson looks at that one, and it's ball 2. Strained right hamstring is the injury for Altuve. In the air, the right fielder Bogusevic legs it over toward foul territory, but can't get to it. 2 balls, 1 strike. Adrian Gonzalez hit his 6th home run for Boston. Cody Ross his 10th, and it's 4-3 Boston over Atlanta. Middle of the 5th inning. Phillies 1, Tampa Bay 0. Cliff Lee's turn to pitch against David Price. Bottom of the 7th inning in Philly. Jimmy Rollins hit his 7th homer.
That's Hamels today, Brownie, for the Phils.
Okay, Hamels. Lee pitched yesterday?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think Kendrick pitched yesterday.
Okay. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Probably predictable outcome with Price and Hamels on the mound, all the way they've been going.
You know it. I forgot to tell you that story, speaking of Jimmy Rollins, about Vice President Joe Biden last night.
Oh, yeah.
And they were honoring Jimmy Rollins at the White House or somewhere in Washington, D.C., with Vice President there. And he said, well, I really don't like Jimmy Rollins all that much. And he said, every night when I go to bed, I look over. If my wife's not asleep, I say to her, every time I look over at you, before I turn out the light, I see this bobblehead of Jimmy Rollins right over here on the end table.
Joe Biden's a big J-Roll fan?
Well, Jill is.
Yeah.
But
is she from Philly?
I don't know.
Although
3-2.
Well, Joe Biden's from Scranton, right?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
So yeah, they should be Philly fans from there. If you go by territorial rights.
Yeah.
But we do have a choice in this country. 3-2 pitch, strike 3.
That time he called it.
Marson caught looking. Yeah, Jay got a call for strikeout number 4.
Well, that's the thing. You can't give up on it. It was a good pitch the first time he threw it. He just didn't get the call, and he comes back to it. It's right there again. This time a little bit in, but certainly on the plate. Inner half on the knees.
Johnny Damon talks with Marson. Now Lowe's around to bunt, and not a good bunt. Fouls it off the screen. Strike 1. It's Washington 1, Baltimore 0 after 5. Jake Arrieta on the losing end so far for the Orioles, and Dan Duquette, their general manager, said in a recent story that hey, we're going for it this year, something to that extent. He takes that pitch 1-1, so maybe they'll make a deal. Detweiler on the mound for Washington. He got his job back in the rotation from Chen-Min Wong. Wong had a few starts but didn't do as well. Detweiler was in relief. Now they flip-flopped him.
Might pull it back and slash it one here. Looks like he's going to bunt all the way.
He does, and it's staying fair. And oh, it's a fair ball when Jay Happ touches it. He thought it would go foul, and he let it roll, and Lowe winds up with a bunt hit.
A little indecisiveness and ultimately a bad decision by Happ. You've already got one out in the inning. Go ahead, pick it up, and get your out and move on. You can understand why he would think that thing was going to go foul, and at the end of the day, instead of slapping it, he should have just let it roll and hope that it caught a pebble or something and kicked right. Get down there and do the Lenny Randall and blow on it.
Yeah. Now, 2 men on, 1 out for Chu. Chu is 0 for 2. And that one goes foul and out of play. There's strike 1. Well, Brian Bixler has come off the bench to enter the game for the injured Jose Altuve. And Justin Maxwell thought to be unavailable today, and that means the Astros have Matt Downs and Chris Snyder on the bench. Foul ball. No balls, 2 strikes. You know, the Washington Nationals, though, the way they're playing, might be thinking about bolstering their club for the stretch drive. They have a 3.5 game lead on the Mets. But what about Strasburg? Is he going to be able to pitch deep into September? Probably not. He has an innings limit on him this year.
That's an innings limit that's being imposed by Nationals management. And if I'm Nationals management, I'm willing to revisit that.
Yes, sir. Strikeout number 5 for Happ.
I think there's a way you can keep him. I mean, you never know. Any pitcher's vulnerable to injury. As you look at the breaking ball from Happ to finish off Chu, second time he's gotten him with a breaking pitch swinging. You know, buy him an extra day or two. You know, get him out of there early in some of these starts. But the idea that they would just shut him down at some point in September if they're still in a pennant race is frankly stupid, for lack of a nicer word.
Okay. Cabrera has struck out and walked.
Bobby Ojeda's got a book out.
Oh, yeah.
And I heard a long interview with him today on the radio, and he talked about '86 season, pitching the playoff game here, and he won Game 6, and then he won in the World Series, and his elbow had been really bothering him. And the interviewer asked him, well, you know, do you feel bad that you risked further injury? He said, no, this is your lifetime dream to be in these kinds of games. You don't know when you're going to be in a pennant race or a playoff series again, and obviously they've got a really good team, and they look like they're going to be good for a good long while. And if the math, the science told me that if Steven Strasburg throws 192 innings this year, his elbow's going to blow up and he's done for 2 years, then sure, I'd shut him down. But nobody knows. It's all just speculation.
2-1 to Cabrera. Yeah, and you know, you think about the Nationals and how they've rebuilt and they've drafted so well, and they've had those top picks, Strasburg and Harper, in back-to-back years. 90 pitches for Happ. You know, it's Zimmerman and just the young players they've developed on their club, and having this wonderful opportunity to be a playoff team and how they could build on that for years to come. It would be tough to say, nope, Strasburg's done for the year, September 4th.
It'd be silly.
Swing and a miss. Cabrera ripped the bat through the zone, but got nothing, and it's 2-2.
Jay's done a nice job mixing his pitches here this afternoon. And when you have that good breaking pitch, it buys you a little bit with the heater, and Cabrera tardy on that 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
He sure was. He was so tardy, he needed a note on that. Three balls, 2 strikes.
That changeup that Jay had left up a couple times early. He's gotten a better feel for it. He's made some good pitches down, including that one.
Twins just got 2 in the top of the 9th to take a 4-3 lead at Cincinnati. Trevor Plouffe hit his 15th. Josh Willingham, number 15. Joey Votto, number 14 for the Reds. They're now batting in the last of the 9th inning.
Keuchel threw Cabrera back-to-back changeups in the 9th inning yesterday. 3-1, 3-2.
Hit to left field. J.D. Martinez backing, looking, and he got there and made the catch. To end the Indians' 5th inning threat with no runs, 2 hits, 2 men left for Jay Happ, and a 1-1 game.
At 1 here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. And be sure to join us this week as the Astros take on the San Diego Padres. The team will wrap up a 10-game homestand with a 4-game series starting tomorrow, the 25th, and ending Thursday, June 28th. Root now and buy tickets at Astros.com. Guys, I got to tell you, hang around about a half an inning, and I have a very special Progressive fan of the game.
Oh.
Little hint for you, a celebrity fan of the game.
Uh-huh.
And you're not talking Santa Claus.
And I am not talking Santa Claus, though to some of you guys and some of the male audience out there, Santa Claus might have just delivered this one.
Oh, now.
Hey, how about you and your ho-ho?
You have peaked. Sorry. Well, I'm trying out. J.D. Martinez is the batter. He grounds to the shortstop. And there's Cabrera taking out number 1. Yeah, we're going to have a tryout. Got to work on the beard for, 4 or 5 years, JD? Something like that.
Well, or you can get some yak hair and make your own.
Well, you and I should really investigate opening a yak hair franchise in Houston.
Yeah, I think
that could be big.
We could
here.
probably get a kiosk in the mall.
Okay, those are fun.
Yeah. It used to be you could just walk through a mall and go into a store if you so desired. Now the malls are full of these vendors, and they're like carnival barkers are hawking everything at you.
Well, we could do that.
Yeah. Get your yak hair. Come here, you want to sample my yak hair?
Jordan Schaefer takes strike 1. He grounded out first time up, but yesterday he homered to left field. One ball, one strike.
Lopez well off the line. He's in tight, even with the bag maybe a step in front, but off the line there at third base. A little push bunt tight to the line would be a good try.
Liner left center will work. And that gets by Duncan and goes to the wall. Schaefer's going to turn around second. He's going to turn toward third. Here's the relay, and it's there waiting, and he is out.
Well done there by the Indians on that relay to get Schaefer. He's caught at third base, but I like the play with 1 out, trying to force the action. That's when you want to gamble to try to get to third base. Got the pitcher coming up behind you. Not a bad idea to try to get to third base here. 7-6-5. The scoring on the play. Cabrera's throw, an accurate one. Right on the money.
2 outs, and it's Jay Happ now looking at strike one. Schaefer winding up with his 9th double of the year as Cabrera took that ball from Duncan and made a quick turn and an accurate throw on to Lopez.
Had that been a triple, that would have been fairly rare to have a 3-base hit to that part of the ballpark.
True.
You can see plenty of them in the right center alley, but visiting bullpen 362 feet away. Only the fastest would even try.
Happ with the chopper. Lowe has it for a 1 unassisted out, number 3. It's no runs, a hit, nobody left. We'll get to that mystery guest with Patty coming up. It's 1-1 after 5.
Up here in the top of the 6th, and as promised, your celebrity progressive fan of the game, this lovely lady right here, Valerie Bertinelli, in Houston, here at Minute Maid Park. Welcome to the game, and you are just
the kiss cam, having fun.
She's watching the kiss cam. She's been screaming for Jordan Schaefer's triple. You are truly a baseball fan, aren't you?
I love baseball. I love sports. Always have. I was raised with 3 brothers, so get me in a ballpark, I'm happy.
All right, well, you're here at the ballpark, but you're here in Houston for a reason. Why is that?
My son is playing tonight with a little band called Van Halen.
Well, your son, Wolfie, after all these years, here he is. He's kind of just stepping into Dad's footsteps. Tell us a little about what he's doing and a little bit about his show.
He plays bass, and it's really, for me to watch them look at each other during the show is like, I don't know, it's heaven for me, because ever since I was pregnant, Ed has wanted to play with whatever came out of me, and thankfully it was a boy, so.
And you're out here enjoying the ball game, but you've got so much going on. Of course, we've been watching you for years, from One Day at a Time, and now you've got a nice little show called Hot in Cleveland. Tell us how that's going.
Yes, I'm very conflicted today because I'm here by the grace of, the Havens, and I'm having a lovely time here at the Astro. What do you call this? Astrodome?
Minute Maid Park. No, you just step back in time a little bit, but no, this is Minute Maid Park.
So, and they're playing Cleveland, which is kind of rough on me, so I'm just going to root for the best team to win.
There you go. Well, tell us about Hot in Cleveland, working with Betty White. That's got to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty great. She's such a lovely, lovely lady. So funny, so smart, so with it. And she's 90. It's scary, but it gives us all hope.
It's amazing. You got so much going on besides your acting, and I know you've got an app, an iPhone, iPad app you were telling me about. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's called Veebo, V-E-E-B-O-W, and you can download it for free, and I believe there are some deals here in Houston. Right now we're very, very big in Scottsdale, Phoenix area, but we're expanding. We're in 26 or 29 states, cities throughout the country, and we're just going to keep expanding, getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
All right, well, it's been awesome catching up with you. Enjoy the game, and you are our progressive fan of the game. There you go. Free stuff.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Patty came up with a big star. Nice going. After the ground out by Kipnis to Bixler, there's strike one to Jose Lopez. Lopez doubled and scored on a wild pitch in the 2nd inning. Get a fly ball in the 4th. Ground ball in the hole here. Lowry gets in front of it, throws on the run. Accurate play. 2 down.
One day at a time.
You got it.
And Schneider. And Bonnie Franklin.
Oh, yeah. 2 outs, and now Happ getting the ground balls. Earlier it was Derek Lowe with a lot of ground ball outs. Brantley is 0 for 2. Boston 7, Atlanta 4. They're in the top of the 6th in Boston. Jason Hayward has belted his 11th homer. Cody Ross has hit a couple now to give him 11. There's a strike, and the resurgent Red Sox are 3 games above 500, but they're 5.5 behind the Yankees. Yankees and Mets play tonight.
Banging that ball off his leg all series.
101 pitches for Jay Happ. He made the last out in the 5th inning. Yep, his right foot.
Never mind the pad. He's just going to have to wear a big boot. Cover his entire foot. He'll have to give up a little speed to do that.
The Miami Marlins are clobbering Toronto 9-0 after 8.
The Marlins had lost 6 in a row, won just once in their last 10 ball games. Threatened of being swept this weekend by the Jays, but they've responded in a big way. They'll probably go on a tear now. It seems to be the way they go.
Yeah, streaky team. So the Marlins are bottom feeding right now. They're 9 games behind Washington in last place in the NL East.
Yeah, if I were the Nationals, the team I'd probably be most concerned with is the Atlanta Braves. Still think they're going to make some noise, especially with Hayward starting to hit.
And they get Jair Jurgens back and pitching well from the minor leagues. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's Milwaukee nothing. The White Sox nothing after 5 at U.S. Cellular. Broken bat. It rolls over to Carlos Lee at first. He takes it for out number 3. 3 ground ball outs for Happ in the 6th inning and a 1-1 tie. Chevron. Let's take a look at Ross Ohlendorf and Wandy Rodriguez. Wandy 6-5 with a 3.29 ERA. Ohlendorf, a UT guy, a 1-0 record of 4.5 ERA. And now here is Brian Bixler up for the first time, taking ball 1. 297 for Brian for 37 at bats. He has 1 homer, 5 runs batted in. He took over for the injured Jose Altuve, who left the game with a strained right hamstring after grounding out in the 4th. It's 2-0 to Bixler.
Padres will come to town last place in the NL West, further out of first place than any team in baseball. They're 18 games behind the Dodgers.
2-1. 18 games.
They don't have the worst record in baseball. That belongs to the Cubs, but they're further out of first.
25 and 47. Bixler has a 4-game hitting streak. He's 6 for 16. Fly ball to center. Brantley is right there to take care of out number 1 for Lowe. Lowe has 12 ground ball outs through 5 1/3. He's gotten Jed Lowry twice to ground out.
We get into this stage of the game when what you're hoping to see from the other side is a little fatigue start to affect the snap on that sinker. Instead of the sharp downward breaking sinker, maybe he starts to elevate a little bit, not quite as crisp. That ball flattens out a little bit. He doesn't have a real good breaking ball. So when that sinker abandons him, that's when he runs into trouble.
That's strike 1 to Lowry.
I guess I shouldn't say when it abandons him. I guess if it abandons him. There's the Fox Tracks. Choose Nissan.com. Providing that information.
Fox Tracks calling it ball 1. Jordan Baker disagreed. And that's foul ball out of play. It snowballs 2 strikes. Bud Norris last night for Oklahoma City was the winner over Omaha, 4-3 in Oklahoma City. In 5 innings, he allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, walking 3, fanning 7, giving up 2 homers, throwing 75 pitches.
I can't believe he called that first one a strike.
Yeah. Grounded foul. That was rather shocking. Bud felt good. The left leg felt good after the game last night, so he's ready to come back into the rotation. Jimmy Paredes was 1 for 4 with an RBI last night. He's hitting .322, playing second base for the Red Hawks. Upstairs, 1 and 2. Brandon Barnes is their center fielder. He's hitting .348. Scott Moore, the DH, .323. Fernando Martinez was 3 for 3 on his rehab assignment for the injury that he had. And Lowry takes that for ball 2. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. He had a concussion problem, so we're not sure when he's going to be ready to come back. But it sounds as if with the numbers we're seeing that he might be ready to be activated soon. Travis Buck continues to play. He's had 5 rehab games for Corpus Christi. He's been out all month with a right Achilles tendonitis problem. Full count now. Delino DeShields stole 2 bases for Lexington. He has 49. He has set a club record for steals in a season.
Not even July.
Yeah. He's taking after his dad. Banged off his foot. The Astros have signed another player from the draft, catcher Tyler Heineman, their 8th round pick from UCLA. He's going to Tri-City. We talked about Barnes, .348. He started the year at Corpus. Jonathan Singleton is an all-star, and 7 members of the Corpus Christi Hooks have been named to the South squad for the Texas League All-Star game. George Springer, .293 with 14 homers for Lancaster. The Shields we talked about. Mike Fultonevich, 9-1 for Lexington, a 2.13 earned run average.
Sounds like he might have a promotion in his near future.
He might.
That kind of start.
That's jerked. Foul. Lowry out in front of it. Good battle here at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Good battle out there, too. For
yeah.
Foul ball.
Well, the all-stars for Corpus Christi are, as you see, Lowry fouling it. Second baseman Jose Martinez, Jonathan Singleton, outfielder Austin Waits, lefty pitcher Brett Overholzer, lefty reliever Kevin Chapman, who came in the Kansas City deal, the Bourgeois Quintero deal, right-handed reliever Jason Stoffel, and shortstop Jonathan Villar. Fly ball right field. Lowry hits another one close to the line. This one might get out, and it is just foul. Just foul. He flirted with a long ball off the foul pole there.
I thought Lowry might be a good matchup today against Derek Lowe. But you coming up empty. You had a chance to catch that ball.
Yes. This will be the 10th pitch for Lowe to Lowry.
So far for Jed today, a couple of ground balls, 1 to second, 1 to short. June maybe distracted a little bit by that fan. Not an easy play. Had a long way to run. Had the wall to contend with. Tighten that corner.
Carlos Lee on deck. Lowry smacks one into the right field corner. Now he got one fair for extra bases. A double for Lowry. He was into that pull mode, and he wound up pulling the ball for his 14th double. Hit number 5 for Houston.
That's just a great at bat all the way around. You make the pitcher throw a whole bunch of pitches, and then you whack one into the corner for a double.
Lowry's in scoring position for Lee. Carlos lined a single in the 4th inning to left field. He's 1 for 2. Big opportunity here for the Astros to grab the lead. In the air near the left field line. 3 players going for it. Duncan coming over from left, but it's back into the seats. Who wants it? That's a tough choice when you've got 2 sons.
Yeah, I think Big Brother's willing to give it up there to Little Brother. He's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to be a good guy.
Yes, he is.
Little Brother really doesn't care. He don't want to be handed one. He wants to catch one.
Yeah.
I don't get the idea. I brought my glove. Don't hand me one. I want to make a play.
1 ball and 1 strike. It's Detroit 3, Pittsburgh 2. The Tigers just broke a 2-2 tie by scoring in the top of the 8th inning. Garrett Jones hit his 9th home run for Pittsburgh. Pretty exciting in Pittsburgh these days. Chop foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Buccos are 1 game out of first. Cincinnati in first in the NL Central.
Pirates were very good in the first half of last year, but they could not sustain it. They went on to their 19th consecutive losing season or whatever,
Yes,
whatever it is.
That's it. There you have it. Cincinnati has lost today, so it's down to a half game. Minnesota beat the Reds 4-3. Up the middle and diving play, but the ball gets through and goes to center, and the Astros have a 2-1 lead. What an effort by Kipnis. But Carlos Lee had enough on that ground ball to get an RBI single, his 28th RBI. But Kipnis really laid out for that one. Could have saved a run the way he launched his body.
Carlos out in front of that sinker. Got it before he was able to get deep. And hit it hard up the middle. Kipnis with a tremendous effort, but just can't quite flag it down. The Astros have the lead. Hey, we've had that shot a lot lately.
Yeah. Lowry sprinting around to score. Now it's Bogusevic with ball 1. Bogusevic singled in the 4th inning. The Astros hitters now are getting some mistakes from Derek Lowe.
He elevated that one to Bogusevic. There's action now in the Tribe bullpen.
It's the lefty Hagedon. It's 2 balls, no strikes to Bogey. Chris Johnson on deck. Nick Hagedon warming up. Meanwhile, Scott Radinsky, the pitching coach, is coming out. Lowe has thrown 89, 90 pitches now. We go to Patty Smith.
Well, Astro fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Houston, or visit hometownkids.tv for more information. Bill?
Patty, you had your daughter visiting out here last night, Austin.
I did.
And was she the one who just graduated from high school?
Austin did just graduate. She's getting ready to head off to Texas State. And, yeah, she hung with Mom for a little bit. Those days are numbered, so I'm cherishing them all.
Yeah. Well, you know, Mom's got to bring her daughter to the ballpark. That's the way it works.
Yeah, well, my little one comes with me all the time. Austin, not so much.
Now, we've seen Kennedy a lot here.
Yeah, Kennedy still likes me.
2 balls, no strikes. 2-1 to Bogey. That's well put. We've all been through that stage. Carlos was edging off first. looked shocked that he drew that throw. What are you trying to do? I'm not a base stealer here. Bounce and Kipnis backhands. There's a toss. Cabrera on over to Kochman. 4-6-3 double play. The Astros get a run on 2 hits. They lead it 2-1 after 6.
Is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. By AT&T, rethink possible. And by Mattress Firm, save money, sleep happy. Well, Jay Happy continues to pitch, and he's got to be happy with what he's done. Through 6, his team leads 2-1. He's thrown 103, and see what he can do in the 7th here, Brownie.
It's bonus time, Greg, for him. And Shelley Duncan leads it off in the 7th inning. He has walked and struck out looking. Jay delivers this ball 1. Dallas Keuchel came up with the first complete game for the Astros this season yesterday, creating a well-rested bullpen for this game. And the starters have been taking it deep. Lucas Harrell went 7 innings Friday night. In the air to center field. Schaefer to the track for out number 1. Our Brown Hand Center, great hands of the game. We'll show you something right here from Casey Kochman, first baseman, on that hot shot.
I'm Bogacevic. Having some very good swings today. Next time up, he hit a rocket off the glove of the second baseman that went for a base hit. But Kochman, one of the better defensive first basemen around. Cabrera, their shortstop, also puts on a clinic.
Kochman single to left, got an infield hit to second. There's ball 1.
Well, it's kind of been a recurring theme in this series, all the left-handed hitters that the Indians have and how they've struggled against left-handed pitching. And so far today, Jay has been able to neutralize the left-handed batters in this lineup, except for Kochman. He's got a couple of singles. The other guys are 0 for the afternoon. Kochman just kind of goes against a lot of things you heard about hitting, about being quiet in the box and a loose grip. I mean, it looks to me like he's just squeezing the daylights out of the handle of that bat.
Bouncer up the middle. Bixler. 2 outs.
Jay gets this 3rd out in the 7th. It will match his longest outing of the year. Back on the 1st of this month, he went 7 against Cincinnati. Game in which he lost 4-1.
Lou Marson is 0 for 2. Fly ball to center and a strikeout looking. 3 of the 4 American League clubs the Astros are playing in interleague play this year have been in first place while they met the Astros. Cleveland, Texas, and the White Sox. The Astros have the 3rd toughest interleague schedule this year in terms of winning percentage of opponents.
Yeah, but that's a little flimsy, though, isn't it? When this Cleveland club's not a real good club.
No.
Chicago's a pretty good club. Texas is a really good club. Whoever has to play that American League East has got the toughest schedule.
I have to agree with that.
If you got a whole bunch of New York and Tampa Bay on your schedule, that whole division's above 500.
The Braves and the Mets are the two teams with the toughest interleague schedules in terms of winning percentage of opponents. Happ fields a comebacker and gets him out. He's through 7 with a 2-1 Astros lead, and it's a Sunday, and the fans are going to rise and sing, and we're going to stay right with them. You can sing along if you like. God bless America.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as part of this season's Home Sweet Home program, the Astros and Budweiser are pleased and honored to welcome to this afternoon's game service members who have recently returned home from overseas deployment. Gentlemen, welcome home. Standing already, we kindly ask that you please rise and join this World War II veteran, soon to be 95 years old, Mr. Joe Prince, for the singing of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Joe Prince.
A 2-1 lead over the Indians, and every Sunday home game with the Astros is a family Sunday presented by Minute Maid and Kroger. The next family Sunday is July 8th when the Astros host the Brewers at 105. And fans can enjoy the Kids Fun Zone before the game and Kids Run the Bases after the game. Get your tickets at Astros.com. Bill?
Thanks, Patty. Joe Smith warming up. Derek Lowe throws, and there's ball one to Chris Johnson leading off the home 7th inning. Chris had the RBI single in the 4th inning that tied at 1-1. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count with Castro and Martinez to follow in the Astros 7th against Lowe. Lowe has not won since June 1st when he beat Minnesota 7-1. In the air toward the right field line. Chu coming over. That ball drops foul. 92 for CJ. Guy there. He's in a good spot for foul balls.
We talk a lot about a manager's responsibility, and it's first and foremost to win the game. So you don't manage to get the starting pitcher wins necessarily, but there are times when you're thinking big picture that if you can get a guy who hasn't won in a while a W, kind of build him up a little bit, it may help him down the road.
Up the middle. Cabrera can't get to it. Single for Johnson. He's had a big series. 2 hits a day for each of the 3 days of this series for CJ.
Sometimes when you leave a starting pitcher in longer to give him a chance to win a ball game, you expose him though to a big inning, and you could just kind of make things even worse.
7 hits allowed by Lowe. It's Castro next. Castro has hit grounders both times. Lowe's thinking double play ball.
So the Astros might be thinking hit and run here.
Yeah, that works. He's going. Fly ball left field line. That's going to fall in for a hit, and CJ goes to third. Duncan couldn't get there. He just beat the throw on a hit and run single by Castro.
I was a little bit surprised that they didn't put a defensive replacement in left field for Shelley Duncan at this stage of the ball game. Because this looked to be a ball that probably should have been caught.
It did.
The hit and run is on, and Johnson able to get all the way to third base.
And he was getting there just ahead of that throw from Duncan. Now 1st and 3rd for Martinez with nobody out. Ball 1 to JD. He's flied to center and grounded to short. 100 pitches for Lowe.
Indians keep their infield back here at double play depth, even though they're down 2-1 and they only have 6 outs left to play with. Looks like they're willing to concede that run to turn 2.
Interesting. 2 balls, no strikes. When the Indians have the lead on the road after 6 innings, they're 13-0. 13 of 19 times JD has scored the runner from third base with less than 2 outs. Up the middle. There's the stop and the flip, and what a piece of magic that was by Kipnis and Cabrera with a run scoring to make it 3-1. That was a magnificent double play started by Kipnis.
It's Alomar to Vizquel, and the Indians turn a pretty double play. That'll bring back memories. Kipnis is not, I mean, he's a good player, but he's not Robbie Alomar. But Cabrera is awfully slick. He's in that conversation with Alomar and Omar Vizquel. But again, they laid back. They got their double play, but the Astros got a very important insurance run.
They sure did, and that hit and run play was a big call, getting Johnson to third with nobody out. Now showing bunt, Schaefer takes a look at it. Ball 1 on appeal. He checked his swing. Schaefer was thrown out trying to stretch a double into a triple back in the 5th. He's 1 for 2. Matt Downs is on deck with a pitcher spot due up next, and the bullpen busy for Houston. A left-hander and a right-hander working there. Foul ball makes it 1-1.
Well, that tells me 2 things. Maniaca has confidence that his guys can come back, and 2, he is not overly intimidated by the Astros bullpen.
True.
He's willing to concede that run, and felt like that was his best chance to prevent an even bigger inning, or the possibility of a big inning.
1-2. Low threw a changeup at 83 with Lyon and Wright in the Astros bullpen. Aroldis Chapman was the loser for Cincinnati when the Twins got 2 in the 9th.
He's been vulnerable lately.
Sure has. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Miami blasted Toronto 9-0. Mark Burley shutting out the Blue Jays. He's 6-8.
That's saying something, shutting that club out. They've been scoring a ton of runs lately.
They sure have. I think he's the all-time interleague winner. I think that's about his 25th win in interleague play. 3-2 now.
Chapman has given up runs in 5 of his last 7 appearances. He now has 4 blown saves and 4 losses.
Interesting. Schaefer fouls that one off his foot. He's really done that a lot this year. He had that part of the right toenail removed, big toe. It goes off the left ankle. Jordan's got to feel like a Cupid doll about right now in this season.
Well, you know, could have been an architect.
True.
Part of the deal. Talking to himself.
That drafting table might look pretty good right now, though. Not too many bone bruises.
So this is how you want to make a living. there, take another. Take that.
Of course. Why don't we hit it again?
Either laugh or cry, and we know there's no crying in baseball.
This time it's the right one, though, just to even out the pain.
Yep.
And you can't limp on both legs at the same time.
Go deep, and then you can jog.
Inside, and he's going to have to run. He threw a 2-out walk, and it's going to be a pinch hitter, Matt Downs. But first of all, Maniac is out to make a move, so maybe not. Downs will still be the pinch hitter because Brad Mills is really short-handed right now. So as Acta comes out to take the ball from low, it is 3-1 Houston. Back in a moment.
Begins with the 2012 MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 10th at 6:30 p.m. Central on Fox. Well, Bill, looks like my brother's coming to pitch for the Indians.
Yeah, Joe Smith. He's 5-1 with a 3.56 ERA. Didn't realize there was a relation there, but we'll check it out. And he's worked 30 in the third innings. But then there's the generic term, Patty. Everybody's your brother, right?
We'll go with that.
Okay.
Smith, it sounds like he's in the witness protection program.
Matt Downs is a pinch hitter for Jay Happ, who had 7 very fine innings today, giving up 4 hits, 1 run. Jay walked 2, and he fanned 5.
Sidewinding right-hander. Gets pretty good sink on his fastball. Throw a bunch of those. Complements it with a slider.
Downs with 4 homers, 8 runs batted in. Looks at a low one from Smith. And he's ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. He was a pinch hitter deluxe last year for the Astros. This season 1 for 15 pinch hitting with 1 RBI. It's a breaking pitch there. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Right-handed hitters tend to bail out a little bit on a guy with this kind of an arm angle. But he doesn't want to leave that breaking pitch over the middle of the plate, because if they're bailing out, they can still whack it.
Yeah, if that has a little cement mixture on him and just hovers over that inner half, he's asking for trouble. Comes another one.
Schaefer draws some attention over there. He has 17 steals in 22 attempts. Well, the Marlins had a players-only meeting yesterday, and they turned it around today with a 9-0 win. Line drive over shortstop, looping in for a hit. Downs comes through with his 2nd pinch hit of the year to keep the inning alive for Bixler.
Smith came back one more time to that frisbee slider, moving out away from Downsy, and he catches it off the end of the bat. Used good strong hands to yank it into left field.
Schaefer looks like he's laboring to run after fouling all those pitches off his feet and legs. He was bent over at second base. Bixler hit a fly ball to center in the 6th inning. Shoots that one into the crowd for strike 1. The Astros had nothing going through the first 3 and 2 outs into the 4th inning. 11 straight were set down by Derek Lowe to start. Since then, they've put a lot of hits on the board, and a total of 9. 3 hits in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, 3 more here in the 7th inning.
That's uncanny how similar this game is to yesterday's game.
It really is.
Happy to report that the New York Mets have found a home for their mascot, Little Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh,
the chicken that Tim Burdack bought the other day
it?
in Chinatown. It's moving to a farm sanctuary in Watkins Glen, New York.
Another idyllic setting there for a mascot. One and 2. Food says that'll keep him out of Chew's kitchen.
If you're guarding against that slider and he comes with that heater, that's tough to pull the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to come in on him.
A little dribbler out to second. Kipnis on over to first. 2 and 7th for the Astros. They pick up a run on 3 hits, leave a couple, lead at 3-1. work of Jay Happ. Very strong effort.
Yeah, he did a nice job mixing his breaking ball early in the ball game. Found the release point on that fastball. Was able to keep it down around the knees. He's got more ground balls this year than he has in the past couple of seasons. That has helped out. But another solid effort for an Astros starting pitcher. They are on quite a roll, and it could continue with the weak hitting Padres coming to town. 7 innings, 4 hits. Just 1 run allowed by Jay. Walked a couple, punched out 5. So 3 runs total allowed in his last 2 starts. He passes the baton to Wesley Wright, who comes in for the 38th time. He's 0-1 with a .374.
Pinch hitter Carlos Santana, the switch hitting catcher, comes up. Batting for Joe Smith. Santana has started the first couple games of this series. He's hitting .226 with 5 homers. He's driven in 29 runs, draws a lot of walks. There is strike 1 to Santana. Santana is hitting .197 as a right-handed batter. He has not had a pinch hit at bat this season. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Derek Lowe in 6 2/3 innings allowed 8 hits, 3 runs, walking 1, fanning 1. There you see the breakdown on Santana. All of his 5 homers have come from the other side of the plate.
Rare pinch hit at bat for Santana, and you know, American League Club, they don't do it very much. The Indians have just 21 pinch hit at bats so far this year. They're 2 for 21 in the pinch. Contrast that with the Astros, who came into this ball game having had 94 pinch hit at bats.
Yeah. 1-2 breaking ball takes the count to 2 balls, 2 strikes for Santana. Joe Smith allowed 1 hit and no runs in his 1/3 of an inning in relief of Derek Lowe. Lowry, Lee, and Bogusevic due up in the Astros 8th inning. Hagedorn warming up again for Cleveland. Smash to left field. That one gets up high off the wall. It'll only be a single. He hit it hard, and it was well played by J.D. Martinez. Pinch single for Santana.
I'm guessing that's the hardest single of his life. This ball is scalded. Wasn't coming down anytime soon either. Just a 1-iron out there off the wall.
It was almost a bottle opener. Strong throw into second. Hit number 5 for the Tribe, and it's Chu batting now. Chu 0 for 3. Chris Johnson's on the grass at third. There's strike 1.
Chu wouldn't be sacrificing here. I don't know if he bunts for a hit every now and then.
Lefties have held him to a 190 average. Cabrera's on deck. Fouled away, and it's 0-2 for Wesley Wright, who's second in the National League in appearances. Tim Burdack has 1 more, and he's momentarily at least tied with Tim. The Mets play tonight. 38. Lefties are hitting only 185 off Wesley. Breaking pitch is a ball, and it's 1-2. Wesley pitched 1 hitless inning Friday night in the Astros 2-0 loss. It's Boston 9, Atlanta 4. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Fenway. Baltimore got 2 in the 8th and leads Washington 2-1 going to the 9th. Strike there, and Chu is down for out number 1. Patty?
Well, voting is now open for the 2012 All-Star Game in Kansas City. Don't miss your chance to help send Jose Altuve and Jed Lowry to this year's All-Star Game by voting up to 25 times at Astros.com/vote. Cast your ballot now for your 2012 All-Stars. Vote early and vote often. Vote today at Astros.com/vote. And don't forget, the All-Star Game is July 10th on Fox, guys.
I would love to see that duo there. And hopefully Altuve is going to be able to come back from the hamstring that caused him to leave this game. Here's the pitching change, bringing in Brandon Lyon. 3-1 Houston. Back in a moment. Wright got one out here in the 8th inning, striking out Chu after giving up a pinch single to Santana off the left field wall. Now it's Brandon Lyon. He's 0-1. His ERA is 2.60.
Brandon having a nice bounce back year after dealing with injuries last season. He's well rested. He hasn't pitched in this series. Last worked on the 19th against Kansas City. He'll turn the switch hitter Cabrera around to the left side. Cabrera, one of those guys who's very good from both sides of the plate, hitting .288 left-handed, .325 right-handed, 6 bombs from this side, 3 as a right-handed hitter.
Fly ball left center field. J.D. Martinez. Lyon gets his first out on one pitch, and now it's Kipnis batting. Well, Brandon came in Monday night with a 4-2 lead in the 8th inning and got a hold, working 2/3 of an inning.
Good work if you can get it in one pitch. Thank you very much for your effort.
Well, Brad Mills wants to go lefty on lefty with Kipnis coming up. Piecing it together here in the 8th inning after Jay Happ went the first 7. Right-hander Fernando Rodriguez getting loose. It's 3-1 Houston. Back in a moment. Two outs, runner at first, top of the 8th inning. It's been alternating. Relief pitchers, right, Line, Cedeno, left, right, left now. Cedeno with no decisions, a 3.12 ERA, 7 strikeouts.
Got his first major league save on Monday night. Came into that wild game where the Astros had the 9-2 lead, and then the Royals put on a crazy rally off of Myers in the 9th to make it 9-7. Cedeno came out of the pen and got one out to pick up that first major league save.
And now, not quite as stressful. Kipnis, the batter, though, still representing the tying run. He's 0 for 3. That is strike one. And Cedeno said the next day after that first save, he said the 9th inning is different from the other innings. Kipnis 227 against Southpaws. Got Mike Moustakas with the bases loaded to preserve the 9-7 win Monday. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Cubs in Arizona underway. 1-0 Arizona, bottom of the first inning against Matt Garza. Arizona won the late game last night with a lot of hitting.
Xavier called up about a month ago and down to Oklahoma City. He was 2-0 with an ERA of 0.42. He allowed 1 earned run in 21 1/3 innings.
One hopper. There's Bixler over to Lee. No runs, a hit, and the relievers piece it together in the 8th inning to preserve the 3-1 lead. to you by Miller Lite. Eric Lowe with a pitch. Carlos Lee with a bouncer off the mound. Up the middle. Past the diving Jason Kipnis. And that's an RBI single for Lee to snap the 1-1 tie in the 6th inning, scoring Lowry. Now, as Carlos gets ready to bat second in the bottom of the 8th inning, is pitcher number 3 on the mound, and a new battery mate as well. There is Carlos Santana staying in to do the catching after pinch hitting for the pitcher Smith. And lefty Nick Hagedorn is warming up. First time we've seen him in this series. And you see he's 1-0 with a 4.91 for the season.
Yeah, he's a hard thrower. Fastball sits right around 94 miles an hour. He'll throw that about 80% of the time, and he'll complement it with a slider. He was originally a supplemental pick after the first round of the 2007 draft by the Red Sox out of the University of Washington. He was a teammate of Tim Lincecum's there.
Jed Lowry will be the first up against him. Lowry doubled in the 6th inning into the right field corner and came around to score that go-ahead run you just saw a moment ago on the single by Lee. Jed's 1 for 3. Lee and Bogusevic will follow him to the plate. Hagedorn was born in Idaho, Sandpoint. Last year pitched at Akron and Columbus. Ball 1. His Cleveland bullpen has 11 wins, 5 losses, and a 4.48 earned run average. Chris Perez, the closer, with 23 saves, leads the American League.
Hagedorn coming over to the Indians July of 2009. That was in the Victor Martinez deal, the Indians catcher that went over to the Red Sox. Justin Masterson also coming this way in that deal, and Brian Price.
Masterson pitched a complete game last time out for the Tribe. 3 balls, no strikes. And he is going to be up for them on Tuesday against the Yankees in New York. Josh Tomlin goes against Hiroki Kuroda for them tomorrow night against the Pinstripers. Strike makes it 3-1 to Jed. Detroit beat Pittsburgh 3-2 in Pittsburgh. Justin Verlander going to 8-4 with a 2.52 ERA. Beat Chris Rhysop. Three and 2 to Lowry now. And it was Baltimore holding off Washington 2-1 in Baltimore.
95 with a little tailing action down around the knees. It's tough to handle.
I bet it is. Pedro Strop was the winner for Baltimore, beating Sean Burnett. And Johnson got his 22nd save. Lowry coaxes a walk to lead it off in the Houston 8th.
You see it happen so often. A pitcher falls behind, then works the count back full, and then ultimately on that 3-2 pitch tries to get a little something extra and can't find the strike zone.
Carlos Lee is 2 for 3 with an RBI. Carlos takes a look at ball 1. In the Indians' 9th inning, Lopez, Brantley, and Duncan are scheduled up. That's to right center field. Chu moves over a little bit and in. 1 out. Lowry back to first for Brian Bogusevic. Bogey's 1 for 3. He singled to right field in the 4th inning. Matt Wieters hit his 10th home run for Baltimore today. And the Orioles are 10 games over 500 right now, 41-31. Chris Johnson's on deck. The Astros have out hit the Tribe 9-5. No errors in this game. Cleveland stranding 5. Houston leaving 4. This one gets by Santana, allowing Lowry to take second base. Fastball on Santana.
Normally you don't think of a catcher getting crossed up with a man on first base. It's really that second base situation, but Santana out there to talk to his young left-hander and then shaking his head on the way back. I can only guess that he got crossed up there.
Bogusevic has a 1-0 pitch coming. He clocks a line drive left field. It's slicing and it's foul. There was no doubt on the call by Manny Gonzalez whether that ball was fair or foul.
I'm guessing pretty close, though, because it was an emphatic call that he made. He was really letting everybody know. And yeah, that would have been a nice run to pick up.
Very nice run.
4-1 game. Bogusevic would have been standing on second base himself.
One ball, one strike. Lowry the runner. Two balls and a strike to Bogey. Colorado plays at Texas tonight. 9-game winner Matt Harrison goes for the Rangers against Alex White. Foul back, and it's 2-2 to Bogusevic. David Price won his 10th for Tampa Bay, 3-2 at Philadelphia. Price 10-4 with a 2.95 ERA. Fernando Rodney got his 21st save. Carlos Pena hit his 10th homer. The loser was Antonio Bastardo. The Rays got 3 in the 8th. Giants 2, Oakland 1. They've played 1.5 in Oakland. Buster Posey hit his 10th. Sabathia goes for win number 10 tonight for the Yankees against 11-game winner R.A. Dickey at Citi Field. Dickey's ERA is 2.00. Foul back.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one. Big hard throwing Sabathia, and then Dickey with that knuckleball dancing all over the place.
Peter Borgos hit his second home run for the Angels. They're tied after 2 with the Dodgers 2-2. Tampa Bay and Philly playing another game to make up that rain out. That's a strikeout. 2 outs.
Yeah, they're playing a split doubleheader in Philadelphia. That second game is due to start around 6:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, Cliff Lee will pitch that game. He was moved back after the postponement the other day. 2 hits for Chris Johnson and an RBI. His single in the 4th inning tied the game at 1. And again in the 7th he went up the middle for his hit. Then he scored another run on a double play ball. Taking ball 1 from Hagedorn. Seattle and San Diego are scoreless after 1 in San Diego with Edinson Volquez on the mound for the Padres. Padres head for Houston after that game. A shot in the air to right field, backing up Chu. Chu's out of room at the wall, leaping, and that's an opposite field 2-run shot for Chris Johnson. 5-1 Houston as CJ hits number 6. All of them in his home ballpark.
Cleveland Indians are going to leave town thinking Chris Johnson's the best player in the National League. He has had one fine weekend.
7 hits in the 3-game series for Chris Johnson.
Had that batting average up above 280 prior to that swing of the bat. A couple of singles earlier, now providing some big insurance runs, driving this fastball into the seats in right field.
5-1 lead, and it's Castro batting now. Jason singled in the 7th inning on that hit and run play. And Johnson went first to third and then later scored run number 3. 10 hits for the Astros. They're coming out of this team slump. It's a 1-1 count. Back to National League play tomorrow night with the Padres coming in. A win today would square their record on this homestand at 3-3. Foul back. That makes it 1-2. All 6 of Chris Johnson's long balls have been here in Houston. He did not go deep in the month of April. Bobby Dynamite knows that Chris Johnson's first homer was May 2nd in this ballpark. It's 2-2. Hector Noesi's pitching for Seattle at San Diego today. That's to left center field. Looks like a gapper off the bat of Castro. Extra bases. He's into second with a double. Second straight hit for Jason, his 9th double of the year.
No, you're not watching a replay of yesterday's game.
But you have seen Castro do that a lot more often here the last 3 weeks.
It's off a tough left-hander. Keeps his nose in there and drives this ball to left center. His second knock in as many at-bats.
Manny Acta's out to take the baseball from Hagedorn. Castro's hit over 290 in his last 18 games now. It's Houston 5, Cleveland 1. Back in a moment. Astros have just piled on with a couple more runs here in the 8th inning to lengthen their lead. Now it's Esmil Rogers, pitcher number 4 for Manny Acta. He's 0-2 with a 6.89 ERA.
Indians pick him up from the Colorado Rockies back on the 12th of this month. He's a hard thrower. His strikeout numbers are good. He's just inconsistent with his command. His fastball up there around 95, 96 miles an hour. Also has a slider and a curveball.
Goes to the rosin bag before J.D. Martinez faces him. J.D. 0 for 3 in this game. Rogers pitched once against the Astros when they were at Colorado May 30th. That was in a 13-5 Rocky win. He worked a scoreless inning. He was signed as an infielder back in 03 as a free agent. 26 years old from the Dominican.
Straight butter four-seamer at 96 miles an hour. This is his 5th appearance Since joining the Indians, he's 0-0 with a 1.59 ERA for 5 2/3 innings of work.
He's had big strikeout numbers. You can tell why with that heat. No balls, 2 strikes. Last year, pitching for Colorado, Rogers was 6-6 with a 7.05 ERA for 18 games, 13 as a starter. It was Josh Willingham who took Aroldis Chapman deep in the 9th inning today with a 2-run homer, as the Twins won it 4-3. That followed a Joe Mauer double. 1-2, so that follows a few days after the Indians did that to Chapman with the Asdrubal Cabrera home run. Been a tough week for Chapman. With the loss, he's now 4-4 after being just so dominant. He didn't give up an earned run for weeks and weeks at the outset of the season.
Might eliminate all the All-Star talk for Chapman.
That's true.
The way he was going along, even though he didn't have a pile of saves, he had been so dominant. High cheddar from this right-hander.
Schaefer's on deck. Foul back. Yeah, a relief pitcher's fortunes can turn in a hurry. Talking about all-star consideration. A few outings like the ones you told us Chapman has had recently can really torch an ERA for a reliever who doesn't have that many innings. To left field, enough lift on it to get it into the seats. A 2-run homer for J.D. Martinez. That's home runs in consecutive games for him. Number 9 for J.D. 7-1 Astros as J.D. now has 41 runs batted in.
With each swing of the bat, it does look more and more like yesterday's ball game. Game that the Astros ultimately won 8-1. He goes down and gets this breaking ball from Rogers. That's a nice piece of hitting after seeing those high fastballs to make that adjustment to get on that breaking ball. Get ready, it's coming right at you.
Jordan Schaefer looks at strike one. JD hits the second long ball for the Astros in the inning. They hit 3 homers in yesterday's game. No balls, 2 strikes. The run Castro scored was charged to Hagedon. Hagedon in 2/3 of an inning allowed 2 hits, 3 runs, walking 1 and fanning 1. 54% of the Astros runs have scored on homers. In interleague play, only the Rockies have a higher percentage of home runs on homers. Foul back. But the Astros have not been walking very much. It's been a real struggle for them, and even in this game, the first 11 Astros were retired by Derek Lowe. Then they started to put some things together. And as a result, they've hit throughout since those first 2 outs in the 4th inning. They send 7 men to the plate here in the 8th inning. They get long balls from Chris Johnson and J.D. Martinez, and they build a nice lead going to the 9th inning, 7-1.
is brought to you by Hyundai. If it's fuel efficient, affordable, stylish, and safe, it's probably a Hyundai. Well, Brett Myers was already ready, so it's not a save situation, but he's in there. The Astros now lead it 7-1 as we go to the ninth. Here's Bill Brown and Jim DeShays.
Thank you, Greg. And with the 6-run lead, Myers, who was warming up when it was a save situation, comes on in anyway.
Well, that sounds eerily familiar as well.
Yes, it does.
That was the situation when he came in on the Monday night. Things unraveled on him.
To the tune of 8 hits and 5 earned runs in 2/3 of an inning. There's a fly ball to left. J.D. Martinez heading back here. But there's room on that side of the wall for out number 1. 21,191 the paid attendance. Myers is 16 for 17 in saves. He has a 3.86 ERA, which certainly was blown up by that last outing Monday against Kansas City.
That was under 2 prior to that outing.
Brantley is the batter. Brantley 0 for 3. Win number 6 on the line for Jay Happ. Myers delivers strike 1. Myers didn't have his curveball Monday night.
I think he left it at home. He left it in his other jeans.
Okay.
It's in the pocket.
It's strike 2 call. Happ, if he wins number 6 of the year, would tie Harrell and Wandy Rodriguez for the club lead. Curveball makes it 1-2. Myers is pitcher number 5. Happ went the first 7. 3 different hurlers worked the 8th for 1 out each for Wright, Lyon, and Cedeno.
That's, all this good starting pitching lately has allowed those relievers to rest up, and that gives Brad Mills the flexibility to manage that way, bring a guy in for a batter here or there, and knows that he still has a pretty good complement of healthy and rested arms available to go should things go haywire on him.
It's 2-2. There's a dandy in the bottom of the 9th at U.S. Cellular Field. Milwaukee nothing, the White Sox nothing.
Well, they just had one of those 2 days ago. Nothing going to the 10th. Milwaukee beat them. Scored a run in the top of the 10th to give Greinke a win.
That's right. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It's the place we just, on the last road trip, we kept talking about what a great hitter's park it was.
Go foul. Yep. In the Astros dugout. Still 2-2, and tomorrow night a brand new 4-game series gets underway here. At 7:05, it's Wandy Rodriguez and Ross Ohlendorf. Astros live at 6:30. Bud Norris was to have been back tonight from his rehab stint. The one started Oklahoma City last night. Ripped, and there's the play by Carlos, tossing to Myers. 2 outs.
Carlos up on the balls of his feet, ready to react. We had that shot of Kochman earlier, and now Carlos makes a fine play.
Brantley really tagged that one. Shelley Duncan is 0 for 2 with a walk. Looking at ball 1. Kochman's on deck. St. Louis 11, Kansas City 6. They're in the top of the 8th in KC. Like a home ballpark for the Cardinals, the way they played there.
Cardinals starting to get some people healthy. Their offense has been very good.
Beltran hit his 20th today. Molina his 10th. For Kansas City, Moustakas has hit 2 to give him 12. Francoeur number 6. Matt Holliday has just glittering numbers in that Kansas City ballpark. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's definitely a 3-team race right now in the NL Central, and Milwaukee's not that far back.
No, I looked earlier today. I was playing around with that, and with that second wild card, I think we're 11 of the 16 teams in the National League were within 5 games of a playoff spot.
Interesting.
And similar story in the American League. So that's really going to be interesting to see as the trade deadline approaches, to see who the sellers and the buyers will be. It's going to be tougher to identify what teams are going to want to do as that deadline nears.
It sure is. The crowd is up, wanting a second straight Houston win here at home. 8-1 yesterday. 7-1 lead here. And a walk to Duncan. Third walk for Astros pitchers today. Brings up Kochman. Kochman is 2 for 3. Doug Brocale's starting pitchers really have had it going the last 7 games. With an ERA under 2. Curveball's good.
Charlie.
Yep. Strike 1.
Softer looping curveball as settles into the strike zone.
That's the pitch that was not there for him Monday night.
I think as he started to get hit around, he just got a little amped up and tried to overthrow it, and he just couldn't finish the pitch.
Strike 2. A win would give the Astros a 6-9 record in interleague play this year, and this wraps it up for interleague for them. Trying to close out their 30th victory of the season. And Myers does it with a big hook. A strikeout of Kochman ends this one. A win for Jay Happ, a loss for Derek Lowe. Here's the final pitch.
Good sharp breaking ball right over the top to finish off Kochman.
The Astros get the rubber game of this series. They win it. Final score, Astros 7, Indians 1.